illness that you can't see. Someone who has maybe an autoimmune disease or fibromyalgia, which I've suffered from in the past. And with that, you feel terrible, but there are no outward symptoms that other people can see. I would be exhausted, maybe flu-like symptoms, and I couldn't hardly function. It's easy if someone has a bone sticking out of their arm that's broken. People can see that and they know what's wrong, but when they can't see what's going on in you, they tend to think it's not real or you're just faking it. Grief is a lot like that, in that people can't see what's going on within us. They expect you to get over it. Let me give you a hint. You are never going to get over it. I'm going to show you in a minute something you can do to help manage it, to help make it bearable. But this is the cost of loving somebody, is we grieve for them. We're bereaved, which is a state of having suffered a loss. And if you love somebody, that's the cost of loving them, is we grieve over them. But other people can't see it. And you'll hear comments like, just move on, get over it, because they don't understand the stages of your journey. And it is your journey, it's unique to you. And I have something I want to show you. Now, this beaker of blue water, and I chose blue because blue is representative of grief traditionally. And as you can see, let me turn this around here, and you can see we labeled it so we can see a little bit better. It's pretty full. The container is pretty full of blue water. I'm not going to add another cup of something in there. There's just not room for it. And our grief is like that. We get consumed by it. It fills us up. And there's not a lot of room for other emotions, other ideas, or even activities. We don't feel like anything because we're full of grief. While we can't get over it, we have to remember that grief will always be with us. It may change forms a little bit, but this is a process that's created in you to help you heal. And yes, you can heal. They say time heals, but healing takes time. And we feel when we're grieving a little bit guilty if we feel any other feelings. If you are with your spouse for years and you have a day that maybe you feel happiness, it's easy to feel guilty about that. Like, I shouldn't be feeling this way. He's not here with me, or she's not here with me. And that guilt can stop you from moving forward. Now, I want to show you how to honor that grief and honor that person. And what we're going to do is I have some other coloring here that I'm going to add. Now, you can see there's not a lot of room. I can't empty this out and fill it with something else. But what I am going to do is just, we're going to call this joy. We're going to say this food coloring represents joy. Now I'm just going to add a couple of drops. You see my container here is pretty much full. We just added a couple of drops. Let me stir this up here. The water's no longer blue with grief. It's sort of, I don't know what color we'd call that, but adding a little bit of joy will not replace your grief. What will happen is if you allow that joy to take place, little moments here and there, it'll dilute your grief. So your grief changes. You have permission to go ahead and experience some good times. You're still full. The memories are still there of your loved one. You're still honoring that person. It is doing them no dishonor by you experiencing a little bit of joy. And as you experience a little bit of joy, and as time goes on, you'll notice these colors start to change. Your emotions will start to change. And you won't have that same overwhelming sadness. While you'll still be full, it'll be diluted. Joy, here's what I want to leave you with. Joy dilutes grief. So do something for yourself. Do some self-care. What is it that brings you joy? What is it that makes you happy that you haven't been able to do? Is it going for a walk? Listening to music? Reading a book? Experience another friend? Here's what I want you to do to dilute your grief. Whatever brings your soul joy, start doing that. Peace.